do.
It's different because as far as speaking voices go, you either have a voice for radio, you have a voice that goes along with your acting abilities to be an actor, or you have the voice that's played over things that you're just going to be known for as that guy with the voice. I really only think there's 3 dimensions, and as far as voices go, yours is so universal, and as far as, like, because, I mean, you're not an actor.
No.
You have no... I mean, anyone can be an actor, and that's the sad part. But, like, you don't have any desire to be an actor. You don't want to be in a feature film. No. You don't want to be, you're not that person.
No, I'm not in theater. I don't do anything like that.
Right.
I'm not in a drama.
100% more mental than you are physical.
Yeah.
And in that case, I think that radio was probably the best thing that you ever got introduced to.
I feel like radio or a podcast is really where it's at.
Absolutely.
I totally agree. I don't know what I would podcast, though.
The good thing is that the audiences of podcasts don't care.
Okay.
They just don't care.
Fair.
They don't care what you talk about as long as you just keep talking. I know that sounds bad, but it goes back to the olden days. And my grandparents are perfect examples of this.
Okay.
My grandparents are the kind of people that in the kitchen, they have an AM/FM radio that plays AM radio talk show
just constantly.
All day.
Okay.
All day. That whenever they would so happily gracious their kitchen, they would happen to hear some random information about whoever the fuck they were listening to was talking about. That was good enough for them. As long as they could contribute the voice to the information they heard, they were fine with that. And
Paul Harvey.
Yeah, and in
Paul Harvey was a big deal.
Absolutely. And in 2015, that's what it is. The podcast, it doesn't matter if you're talking, if you're interviewing the lead singer of Tool. It doesn't matter if you are selling a brand new feminine hygiene product. As long as your voice says things, it's just an equation for success. And I'm not trying to say like a financial success, because that's not really what the point is, but a calling is a calling, and as superficial as it might be to be like, oh, well, your voice just so happens to be Formula X for said campaign.
I wish I could fit it to something that I cared about.
Exactly.
But I feel like...
Well, that's what you want. That's going to be your choice.
Should I draw and talk?
No.
Do you think that could be a thing?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Because
I don't think
a more boring activity, which sucks.
Well...
Like, I have all these abilities, and none of them mesh together. They all belong to completely different, like, genres, or... like,
there's a missing link in there. Yeah, there's a missing link in there, but the point is... I am a fan of drawing tutorials.
Well, sure.
Speed it up, though.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking put it in fast forward, don't talk to me, let me see what you did.
Yeah.
Because it takes so much time.
You can't... Oh, no.
Even if...
You're not...
Even as a musician,
you
I'm
would
like...
have, like, 100-hour YouTube...
Right. As
episode.
a musician, I could literally bring that keyboard over here. I could put down a drum line for a 3-minute song that I created from nothing, and then I could record them individually, and no one would care.
Music is such a good fit for YouTube, though. Is you can do it, it's immediate, it's this thing. Visual arts have such this
stagnant,
like, ridiculous sausage factory behind it that nobody really wants to deal
factory.
With or
My
see.
favorite video.
Like, it's ridiculous. Nobody wants to see that. It's boring. It's awful. It is, you have to be a fucking monk stranded on an island with nothing else to do.
I agree.
The only thing that has made art interesting to people is Tumblr. Which is...
fake.
Which is ridiculous, yes, and fake.
It's not real.
No.
There's no art in Tumblr.
No.
There's no art in Instagram.
No.
You might consider yourself a virtuoso of said Instagram tendencies, and then you're like, you know, I'm going to respond to this Snapchat or this Instagram post, and I'm going to give this facial expression that equals this little description that I'll leave in the description of that video or that post, and you're like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
First of all. Secondly, who the fuck cares about this post and topic thread? Bad Wednesday? What are you talking about? Bad Wednesday, you could get bombed. You could get fucking bombed by a third world country that you didn't expect.
Go watch a Serge Tankian video and then tell me how bad your Wednesday is.
I can't believe it. I went to work and my boss wore the same outfit as me.
I went to work and I made money, and then I drove home safe and sound, and then I went to bed.
And I had all this free
me.
I had all this free time to think about all the things that I'm not happy with.
What will I do about my son? How will I take care of my son?
Yeah, he's fed and he's clean right now, but I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm so busy writing this album because I'm Macklemore. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's real hard. It's real hard to raise a youth of the world when I'm 15 years old and I'm still growing up, you know? Nobody takes that into effect. It's much easier to find a way...
Every American should be required to take a mission trip.
I think that at 18 years old, I'm about to get real political.
And I've never taken a mission trip in my life.
No, I honestly would opt out.
I've never even built a house for Habitat for Humanity.
I would opt out in a second because my life...
Conscientious objector.
Yeah, my life has
build
been
your own damn
struggled
house.
enough that I'm about to say, hey, why don't you build me a house? Then we'll talk. You build me a house, 10 years from now, I'll build you a house. We'll both be good. But that doesn't happen. It's America. Capitalism, it's beautiful. But in the most literal sense, like, I don't think you can take a group of average American kids...
Didn't do anything.
You're right. I'm talking average American kids. There are more 8-year-olds more worried about the fact that this Christmas, are they going to get
the iPad?
Are they going to get the technology that they need?
Should I get an iPad or a laptop? I can't decide.
Which one do I want, really?
By the way, laptop you can create stuff on. iPad, you're just a consumer.
It's true,
which is probably why tablets are so popular. Because people don't want to create.
No.
They just want to consume.
Well, that's good. That's good. And I feel like somebody of our generation, or at least in the time of this generation socially, has capitalized that statement. But it's so true. Consumables are so much better than creations at this point. Now, and it's like a double-edged sword because you have the public that looks at it like, I'm using all of these things. And there are so many things in this world that I can use freely, so they're consumables. But the only reason why any of those consumables exist are the people that created them. Mm-hmm. There are brilliant minds that are utilizing every single tendency and every single option that they have in their hands to create something amazing, but at the same time, all they're doing is making things that people just shit on. Yeah. They take them, they eat them, they shit them out. They fucking buy them for Christmas and they shit them out a year later when they're outdated. Mm-hmm. It's just eat and shit. That's all it is. That's America right now.
That's fair.
Eat and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And creation is
should be on every dollar, should be on every coin.
Yeah. Eat and shit. In God we trust, I don't think so.
No.
Eat and shit.
No, not America, not now.
And you know what eats and shits the most? Babies. And that's...
Because America's a bunch of babies.
It is. It's 200-year-old baby.
Were you in Best Buy with me when we saw the 3D printer?
Yeah.
I can walk into Best Buy right now and buy a 3D printer.
For how much?
That's amazing.
How much, though?
It's only $1,000.
It's only $1,000. And people see that, they're like, I can't believe it's $1,000.
But they'll walk over
to... prints things.
But
what are you talking about?
They'll walk over to the big screen TVs.
Yeah.
And they'll buy the 4K curved screen.
Mm-hmm.
For like $2,800.
They'll buy the new smartphone that has a...
Best Buy will finance you for it. They'll do a credit check on you. But no, the 3D printer... Do you realize if you gave a 3D printer to a third world country...
Oh, man.
What they would do with it? It would be amazing.
First of all, and I'm not even joking, because when that kind of impact hits a third world country...
Because it will... And it's what it's going to do.
Well, it's going to be a good thing. It will be a good thing.
It will absolutely raise humanity out of the dirt once and for all.
Yeah, there are two options for that third world country. One, they will either take whatever... I have to, and I'm not trying to be prejudiced or discriminate a little bit, but I've got to think that these third world countries probably just don't have the intellect necessary to understand the full capacity of the technology at hand.
No.
So I'm kind of, because even we can't just print food, and that would be the real solution.
Well, yeah.
You print food, you print edible nourishment, and then you're set.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, they're going to take every option to 3D print weapons. One.
Okay.
It's either weapons or tools.
Tools, exactly.
And that is humanity.
Even just...
You either use tools or you make weapons. And as far as the story arc goes, when there are civilizations farther along in the story arc than you are, you make weapons so that you can compete. Because not only do you need to compete, but they are also very tyrannical. People that are advanced are usually take advantage of the lesser advanced. Whereas the advanced can take the time to make tools. And I have never understood why humanity as a civilization has taken those approaches. The people who are advanced make things that better everything. And the people that are disadvantaged make things that only rebel.
Okay.
I don't know if that's just universal balance. I think, at this point, it has to be. It almost is elemental.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way. But there's something psychological about that.
Absolutely.
And I'm sick of it.
I guess it's kind of like how for every culture there has to be a counterculture.
Exactly.
So if there's a culture bettering things by, let's go to space.
Right.
Let's create the microwave oven. Let's do this. Oh, let's use that same technology and let's make a bomb. Let's make rockets. Let's put bombs on rockets.
Yeah.
Let's see what that does.
Boredom, necessity.
Power,
dominance. You can get real primal with it. And you can say, oh, well, they only made weapons because they wanted to be dominant of the cultures that weren't. That's bullshit, though. You had no necessity for those weapons.
No.
Especially if you were already advantaged in the first place.
You had advantage enough to make a weapon. Why didn't you use it to make something else?
Why couldn't you use the advantage to make sure that you and 100% of you in this group A were fed, were clean, were smart, were, just basically fulfilled in all ways possible?
That has totally demystified the entire human condition in one small discussion.
I think human condition is sick. It's prognosis sick. Only because I think sick is the perfect adjective. Because you can be sick. You can be thriving and sick. You can be rich and sick. You can be almost anything positive but sick at the same time.
Yep.
And sick just always means, it's just like a little asterisk. You put it by the name. It's like Douglas Laubacher. Asterisk sick. Sith. And that Cisco! Buy our products. Asterisk, it means has a defect. Is disheartened.
It's a status condition.
It's a downfall. It just means that something is plaguing.
It's like in an RPG like Pokemon or
it's
something.
Poison.
It's like, you're poison, you're paralyzed,
cursed. You're paralyzed.
Cursed. Yeah. It's like this
you're
little
atrophied.
attachment that's not really good.
Yeah. It just means a negative status ailment for all the RPG players. And that's America right now.
It is.
It's actually the world. And if the world would just take a little bit of a glimpse out of Final Fantasy VII, we could all grow together.